Well, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Chris Holtzman here live from the First Alert Desk. We're talking about Tropical Storm Debby has strengthened a little bit off our coast, and this system is expected to make landfall as we head later into this evening, into the night tonight. Let's start off with what's happening right now. We've seen rain on and off. There's a look over downtown Charleston. You can see the low clouds, and that is in association with Debby. We are looking at the low clouds around, and as a result, some rain, and it is heavy at times falling. So let me show you a live look here on radar and what we're looking at in terms of the rainfall, on and off heavy rain bands. So zooming in right over downtown Charleston, Folly, also over to James and Johns Island, to Goose Creek and Wando. Some of that heavy rain pinwheeling in. Not as widespread as what we saw yesterday, but this is adding up to areas that have already seen close to a foot of rain or more. It does not take a lot of additional rain to create flooding issues with our area. So that's why we want to make sure not to drive over roads covered in water. You don't know how deep that is. We're looking at some moderate to heavy rain right over Georgetown, St. Stephen, looking at very heavy rain over the Avondale area, and then we are looking at as well some heavy rain over West Ashley. So let's zoom out. We'll put this into motion. We are tracking one heavy band of moisture, and that heavy band of moisture is starting to move onshore north of Georgetown and then moving into Horry County near Myrtle Beach. And as a result, with that heavy rain, that's adding more rain to areas, especially to our northeast. Let me show you the latest information on Debby, the 11 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center. They have been sending reconnaissance aircraft into the storm, and there was a gust of 60 miles per hour found, and that was found across the southeast quadrant of the storm. And as a result, that has prompted this system to strengthen just a little bit. Pressure's dropping just a little bit to 995 millibars. The lower the number, the stronger the storm. But as of the 11 o'clock advisory, the center is still about 50 to 100 miles off our coast. Now, it is forecast to make landfall at some point later this evening into early Thursday morning with winds of around 65 miles per hour. That's not widespread 65 miles per hour, but we are watching the potential for some stronger and gusty winds. And with that, we are looking at stronger winds, and with that, we are tracking some gusty wind as well. So let me show you as well, as we are looking at future tracker going through the next couple of hours. With that, you can see some bands of heavy rain moving onshore. The steadiest to the rain should be across Georgetown, Williamsburg, into Horry counties. And that's in association with that activity. And then as we move into Wednesday evening, so this evening we are tracking the center still right off our coast. Eventually the center moves onshore late this evening into tonight. That's when we could see the wind pick up. And remember, the ground is very wet. And with that wet ground, that means that we could see down trees and power lines. Some of the tree roots could be a little bit loose. So use caution. Even if the heavy rain has stopped, the gusty wind in association with that wind, that could lead to some down trees. So just be aware of that. Otherwise, though, by Thursday, this system gets caught up in a disturbance, an upper level disturbance that speeds it up. And as a result, with the faster motion, we are looking at this system starting to rapidly move out of here, which is good news. By late Thursday and then into Friday, we do see improvement for our area, and that improvement will be noticed across the region. And then by Friday, we're looking at a dry forecast. So that's the good news. In terms of current wind, you can see the center of Debby still offshore, but we are looking at sustained winds around 10 to even 20 miles per hour. And with that gusty wind, that will only start to build a little bit more as the center starts to move onshore. In fact, look at our wind gust forecast. We could see gusts into the afternoon up to around 40 to even 50 miles per hour at times. And then that continues into Thursday morning. There's this model showing the eye moving and making landfall generally east of Charleston over upper Charleston County, McClellanville, Allendale, perhaps into Georgetown County as well. And then that moves to the north and the wind eventually will start to subside. So improvement by the end of the week, but we are looking in the short term at some gusty wind. The good news is that widespread high risk has been trimmed back. However, some of our area is still in it, including those of us in Georgetown and Williamsburg counties, where the heaviest of the rain is setting up this morning into the afternoon. That should start to slide away from us, and then that risk also drops down as well by Thursday, with that high risk moving into Horry County and also North Carolina. Most of our area drops to a risk level 2 of flooding. So I want to show you what to expect. Again, additional rainfall from what we've seen, up to 3 inches possible, gusts up to 40 to even 50 miles per hour. And then on top of that, we are looking at the highest gust gust along the coast. We have really no threat of tornadoes. That's mainly across North Carolina. And then the storm surge threat around 1 to 2 feet. That's mainly for Georgetown and also Williamsburg counties and into Horry County. That's where we have the highest threat for storm surge right along the coast there. So mainly Georgetown into Horry County is where we could see 1 to 2 feet of water above the anticipated tide. So if your area is prone to storm surge flooding, we could see that once again. So just be aware of that through the rest of today into the day on Thursday. So I'll leave you finally with a look at what to expect with our impacts here in the low country. Of course, we are getting through this system, and impacts, at least the most widespread, will be experienced through today, and then we'll start to see improvement over the next few days. Tune in at noon. We'll have the latest information on the system, and of course, we'll be with you as we head through the rest of the afternoon and into the day on Thursday. And if you have not already, make sure to download that Live 5 weather app. You can track any storm and also get the latest information on your phone or tablet. Have a great rest of your morning.